House. Boris Mikhailov, the greatest goal scorer in Soviet history, number 13, dazzles here with his play, gets the puck to Sergei Starikov. Petrov also gets an assist, and the Soviets are en route right now. That set the pattern of the game. Starikov scoring first. Then Mikhailov made it 3-0 for the USSR, and the barrage continued. Goal number 4, the Soviets' goal here came at 12:19 of the opening period from the stick of defenseman Vladimir Fettisov, right there on the rebound. Petrov and Harlamov assisting on the goal. But Vladimir Petrov right there along with Fettisov, and he sends it home. A gallant effort by the Japanese goaltender Iwamoto. He gave it a gallant effort in goal with Japan, but his non-existent defense certainly didn't help him out. Alexander Golikov made it 5-0 on a 2-on-1 passing play from Makarov at 14:59. Then at 17:30, Balderas scored to make it 6-0. The Soviets' 7th goal from Vladimir Golikov, the younger brother of Alexander. And then Vladimir Golikov scored again at 19:26 of the first period, and it was 8-0 for the Soviets. No stopping the Soviets in this game against Japan. 6 seconds into the second period, Petrov scored, and it just continued and continued. 9-0 at that point. Kazanov scored to make it 10-0. Vladimir Golikov got another goal. And then Boris Mikhailov made it 12-0. And one had to have a little sympathy for the Japanese national team. Fettisov rounded out the scoring, and they have just scored again, and it's 14-0 for the Soviets over Japan. We'll have more coverage as this is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. The Soviet Union team is the heavy favorite to win the gold medal here at this Olympics, as they have in 6 of their last 7 tournaments. To be fair, the Japanese are still learning. At the moment, they're ranked right at the bottom of the list in the 2 divisions here. Now to the rink, and the commentators Ron Roosh and Tom Watt.
Thanks very much, Lloyd. And the story here, of course, is just the Soviet Union completely running away from Japan. You have to pity Japan a little bit. They have just been totally dominated and bombarded. You have to also pity the poor goaltending. Takeshi Iwamoto started the game, and now the second goaltender, Minoru Misawa, is in. The scoring in this game is it's now 15-0, 7:35 remaining in the contest. Alexander Golikov has 2 goals and an assist. Vladimir Golikov has 2 goals and an assist. Valery Harlamov, a goal and 4 assists. Boris Mikhailov has 4 assists in the game. Vladimir Petrov has 2 goals and 2 assists. Helmut Balderas, 1 goal and 2 assists. And the shots on goal right now, Soviet 62, Japan 19. Tom, you really can't judge how good the Soviets are or will be the rest of the tournament, but against a team like this, certainly all they're doing now is just having fun out there. Really.
Well, well, everybody in the world knows they have a great team. They're the world's champions, and certainly Japan, coming from the B group, are in a great deal of difficulty in playing a hockey game like this. When we get a moment, there's some interesting changes, however, in the lineup for the Soviets.
All right, well, let's pick up the play now. That's Fettisov, number 2, blasting one right at the Japanese goal. The Japanese coming away with the puck, but they get it only out to center ice before Kasatonov takes over, feeds Balderas, who just deflects it into the Japanese zone. We've got 6:45 left in this hockey game. At center ice now, the Japanese coming over the line and carrying the puck there is Hoshino. He got the shot away, but it was well wide of the net. And at center ice once again. Down over the line, Balderas cutting out in front of the net, but it rolled off the end of his stick, and the puck is flipped out to center ice once again. Kasatonov turning with it, working on a defensive pair here with Fettisov. Here's Balderas in over the line. He shot that one wide, and the puck bounces out all the way over to the other side. On me, out at center ice. There's it behind the net. Fettisov touching it back there, and it's called on the icing. The faceoff will come back in the Japanese zone with 6:13 left. 15-0. The Soviet Union is leading. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Play under underway here off the face-off. Alexander Golikov inside the Japanese zone, rolls it out in front. There's a high shot taken at the side of the net by Makarov. It goes into the corner. Japanese player falls, and picking up the loose puck is Vladimir Golikov. Rolls it in front, and a chance there for Makarov, but it rolled wide and over to the far boards. Japanese coming out at center ice, but again the Soviets take over. Vasilev in his own zone, feeds it out to center ice. Makarov, he ducks a check, and trailing on the play and carrying the puck over the line is Vladimir Golikov. Out in front, there's the shot. It's right on the rebound, and it flips high in the air and is batted out of the air and into the net for the 16th goal for the Soviet Union. And scoring that goal, Alexander Golikov, who now has a 4-point night going for himself as well, and that completes his hat trick.
Well, there's nothing to this game, is there? Because after the original shot, the puck does come up in the air, and Golikov really bats the puck out of midair. There's the puck out, up, bouncing right out of midair into the net for his goal.
So Golikov will get the goal, 16-0 now with 5:10 remaining in the game. Makarov will get a point as well. So the time of the goal, 14:49. Puck against the far boards. Picking it off there is Mальцев, the veteran. He swings a pass away to this side, and Pervukin. Pervukin to Krotov. Krotov working for the line now, cutting around the defense, going to the side of the net, now sweeping it back out to the blue line, and it will go to Billy Litvinov. His shot kicked way out on a long rebound, and the Japanese will try to come out to center ice with it. Sakurai, he gets over the line, knocks down a bouncing pass, tried to roll it in front of the net. Should mention that Vladimir Mышkин is in goal for the Soviet Union. After the first period, he has not really been tested too much in this hockey game. Mальцев, that's Pervukin at the blue line, and it's knocked down at the defense. The Japanese come away again, and players fall right at center ice. Puck is against the boards. Lebedev, Fuji, and now here come the Soviets once again. Mальцев backing in towards that. There's the shot as he spun and fired that one. And again, it goes to the side of the net. Lebedev after it. He's number 11 out there for the Soviets. Here's a shot that's wide of the net. Lebedev gets it again behind the net. Mальцев circling out in front again. Mальцев getting set. There's the shot, and he is dumped just as he got that shot away, and the goaltender is forced to make the save. Back down in the Soviet zone. Pervukin ahead. Mальцев over the line as the Japanese got caught on a change there. Mальцев spun around, gets it against the boards. It's cleared up ice, and Pervukin goes back for it. Kazanov behind his own net. Now clears it into the corner. Over to the far side. Kazanov. Pervukin out at center ice. Turning with it is Mihailov. Over for Petrov. He hits the line. Petrov in against the boards. Petrov trying to get set for a pass, and it went off a leg. Still inside the blue line as Kazanov controlled it momentarily, then lost it to the Japanese. And here they come over the line, and just as they were trying to set up a play in front of the net, the pass was intercepted by Kazanov, called on the outside at the blue line. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. There's the coach of the Soviet team, Viktor Tikhonov.
Well, it's very interesting that Coach Tikhonov has made a few changes. There we see a real upset. Poland 5, Finland 4. That's a very big upset in this tournament that has just started today.
And interesting news as far as Team Canada's chances, too, because that's one of the teams that Canada really felt it had to beat in order to make the medal round. And they've already been beaten by Poland. Puck is over the line. They'll be playing them on Saturday. Mihailov getting it into the corner. Harlamov, number 17, working out to that blue line. Harlamov still with that puck, trying to keep it on his backhand. Now it gets to the forehand, but he gets bumped and spun around a bit. And now it's Petrov. No, it is not. It's Fettisov. Fettisov over to Petrov. Petrov, with lots of room, gets in front of the net and shoots. And the puck is cleared away by the defense after it's being blocked by М.Мисава, the Japanese goaltender. Now Wakabayashi over the line, and just as he got over the line, it's checked away by Kасatonov. Bounces out, runner out over the blue line, brought back in, and then cleared out over center ice. Here's Mihailov on a break. Mihailov in front of the net, and he took a pretty good slash there from Witkasa of the Japanese. Petrov against the boards. Fettisov to Petrov. There's a shot. That's right on. It's loose out in front. There's a shot through the goal crease from a bad angle taken by Mikhailov. And now it's Petrov in the corner. He tried to drop it off for Mikhailov, who had his back to the play. Jammed in against the boards. Harlamov moves in, takes the puck, gets out in front of the net. Now gives it to Petrov, who tries to jam it in and fails. And the puck is behind the net. Now here's Kazanov. Kazanov to Mikhailov. Mikhailov with 1:01 left in the game. Mikhailov back to the blue line. There's taken by Kazanov. Kazanov to Harlamov in front of the net. It's deflected to Fettisov. Down goes the goaltender, and it's called for a face-off. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Well, we've had a little bit of shoving while we were away in between Nakamura of the Japanese team. Valery Harlamov has been right in the middle of this, too. The temperature, well, they were starting to throw the weight around a little bit over the last little bit. Not, I think, promoted by the fact that that slash there on, I guess it was Mikhailov going in on the net.
Well, the Soviets have been very, very mean, and they're trying to dominate teams physically. I talked to Herb Brooks, the United States coach, when they played in New York City last Saturday, and he said that the Russians were the meanest he has ever seen them. I don't know whether that's a reflection on the political situation. Here we see the scuffle in front of the net, grabbing over shoulders, and the sticks come in, and everybody starts getting, you know, pushing that glove in the face, and that's what starts things going. Here's everybody kind of into it, but the Soviets really haven't played the gentleman in this tournament to this point.
All right, out there, Shlukov. He'll face off the tallest player on the Soviet team. Big fellow, number 22. And we're underway with 51 seconds remaining in the game. There's a shot from the blue line. Petrov rolls it in front of the net. Nobody there could knock it down. Balderas. It was out there. It's cleared over two lines down into the Soviet zone. Come back for a face-off just a couple of feet inside the Japanese blue line.
Well, there's a fellow that's traded some pins already. There are lots of people here that make an occupation out of trading pins, getting as much as they can. They're trading outside the arena in all the venues.
On the face-off, Balderas against the boards. Balderas being checked there by Asuma. Fuji goes in the corner after the puck, and it's cleared out. Starikov. Starikov over for Balderas. Good move in front of that. Balderas shoots. It's right on. He gets the puck again. Rolls it in front. They flip it wide of the net. That was Sportsov there. Now Sportsov getting another chance at it. Gives it to Balderas. Balderas unable to get loose as it rolls off his stick, and he has to go back out to center ice for it with 14 seconds remaining. The score is 16-0. The Soviets are leading. Running up the goal count, of course. It may be a factor before the tournament is over. Now Sportsov over the line. Sportsov being checked from behind, and as he's checked, the horn goes. This hockey game is over, and the Soviets have won it easily. They had an 8-0 lead at the end of the first period, and they finally skate to the dressing room after this one's over. 16-0, the final score. They had over 70 shots on goal in this one.
Well, the Soviets have made, we see Mышkин, who shared in the shutout tonight, but the Soviets have made some interesting changes in their team, and Canadian fans who are going to see more of them on our coverage of hockey will realize that there are 8 members of the Dynamo team, which toured Canada earlier and the United States earlier this year, and there are 11 members of the Red Army Club. So 19 of the players here have really been quite familiar to Canadians in the last month or so, playing in Canada with either Red Army or Dynamo.
All right, the teams with the traditional handshake at center ice, and they'll head for the dressing room. The Soviets have got their tournament on, their defense of their Olympic gold medal of 1976. And the Japanese draw a hand from the crowd. One thing about them, they didn't quit skating. They always try, no matter how far behind they get in things. But they were just overwhelmed by the Soviets. There's the score, 16-0 final score.
Well, Soviet Union have got a great hockey team, and another interesting member of the Soviet team is Vladimir Krutov, who is a junior that they brought along this year with their team. He was a member of the World Junior Championship Soviet team, which won the tournament in early January in Helsinki, and so he's another young star on the Soviet horizon.
Well, you talk about young Fettisov, who's just 21, who's already been with the team, what, 3 years now, Tom? And Sergei Starikov, second year on the team. So they are continuing to develop great hockey players, and this team just doesn't look like it's ever going to start to fold up on people.
And there have been some changes in the Soviet defense. Babanov and the veteran Luchenko have been left at home. They are not on the team. And another very surprising person left off the team was Kapustin, who did play on the line with Balderas and Zhluktov and made up a real formidable unit. But for some reason, I don't know whether he's been injured or not. He was hurt during the series with Red Army in New York City. He was hurt in a practice session in early January, but at the present time, Kapustin is not with the team.
Well, there you see the standings after 1 day of play, in effect the first round, and Canada, nice to see it, right up there on top with the Soviet Union, and Poland. A bit of surprise. You saw a little bit of that game against Finland, in which Poland defeated the Finns, upset the Finns, and they may be the surprise of this particular round.
Well, Poland, certainly people say, well, you know, Poland, we don't know too much about Poland internationally, but Poland has had a hockey tradition for quite some time. Poland was in Group A of world hockey. Not only were they in Group A, but they played pretty well. If you remember, in 1976, when the World Championships were in Katowice in Poland, they upset the Soviets in one game, and really that upset that Poland had over the Soviets caused the Czechoslovakian team to win the gold medal in 1976. So they are capable. They've done it before, pulling upsets. There have been a lot of Soviet and Czechoslovakian coaches in Poland in the last decade trying to bring about changes in their own hockey system.
Okay, Tom, and when you talk about going back to Poland, the first coaches that really had any impact in that country were the Warwick brothers, interesting enough, back in the late 50s when they went over there. So the story here then, 16-0, the Soviet Union defeats Japan. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.